The 2025 Canadian National Motocross season kicked off this weekend in Calgary, Alberta. Let's start with the 250 class. Returning with MX 101 for another season, Sebastian Racine faced early bike troubles with mapping issues but managed to get things figured out before the gate dropped. In Moto 1, he started in 6th and battled his way to 4th after some early trouble. Moto 2 proved tougher, where he finished 6th, rounding out the day with a solid 5th overall. The lone rider for KTM Canada Red Bull Racing in 2025, 17-year-old Dylan Rempel impressed with a consistent 5-4 finish for 4th overall. Launching out of the gate in the top 3, both motos, Rempel showed composure and consistency, riding smooth and controlled laps all day. New Zealand's Dylan Walsh made his full-time Canadian Series debut on the Walton Kawasaki. Although familiar with the brand from his Supercross season, this was his first time riding the Walton bike, and while still recovering from injury, he showed serious grit. A 3rd overall finish sets a strong tone for the season ahead. A favorite to win heading into Calgary, Ryder McNabb's day was a roller coaster. He nailed the hole shot in Moto 1 but got caught in a rut and fell into Preston's line, actually causing them both to fall, recovering to finish 2nd. Moto 2 saw him outside the top 3 off the start, but he charged hard to another 2nd place finish, earning 2-2 on the day for 2nd overall. Back with MX 101 and dropping to the 250 class, Preston Kilroy made a statement. He narrowly avoided a first turn pileup in Moto 1, then crashing when McNabb fell into his line, but remounted first to take the win. In Moto 2, he grabbed the hole shot and never looked back, going 1-1 for the overall win. Kilroy heads into round 2 in Cold Lake wearing the red plate and with some serious momentum. Let's get into the 450 class. Jess Pettis had his MX 101 Yamaha National debut. Moto 1 saw Pettis with a 2nd place start, quickly hunting down Phil Nicoletti and making the pass before the first lap ended and won Moto 1. As he crossed the finish, he fired off a Cooper Webb-style finger gun back at rival Dylan Wright, a message sent loud and clear. Pettis nailed his first hole shot of the season in Moto 2 and went bar to bar with Wright in one of the most exciting races in recent memory. Both riders hit the dirt in separate incidents, but kept charging. Pettis crossed the line in 2nd, sharing the red plate with Dylan heading into Cold Lake. To underscore their dominance, the two lapped up to 8th place and were nearly 2 full minutes ahead of 3rd. Back with the GDR Honda team for another year, Dylan Wright came into Calgary on a mission. In Moto 1, he kept Pettis honest, even making a pass late in the race, but just fought back and reclaimed the lead. Wright ended up 2nd, but made it clear the battle had just begun. Moto 2, a race for the ages. Wright and Pettis swapped the lead throughout the race. In the final lap, Dylan made a wild push and crossed the line in first with a finger gun of his own. An instant classic moment that tied the point standings heading into round 2. To top it off, the win marked a milestone. His mechanic Corey celebrated his first career 450 moto win. Phil Nicoletti made plenty of noise in his return to Canadian motocross. From the moment he set up in the pits, fans crowded in, either to snap a photo or flip him off. Classic Phil. He announced his intentions early with a hole shot in Moto 1, immediately reminding everyone that he wasn't here to make friends, he was here to race. He held on to 3rd in both motos, but not without drama. In Moto 2, a rock sent him to the ground, forcing a comeback ride to salvage the final podium spot. Nicoletti didn't mince words after the race, calling out the subpar track prep, a sentiment echoed by others in the top 3. Still, he leaves Calgary very much in the title conversation. Finishing 4-6 for 4th overall, Quinn Amiot put on one of the most impressive performances of the weekend. Returning to the site of a brutal 2023 crash that cost him part of his finger, Amiot showed speed, consistency, and grit. His performance was even more impressive considering he wasn't invited to the pre-race press conference, a snub many now say was a serious oversight. In 2024, Quinn was running in a podium position when a lapped rider collided with him, snapping his throttle cable and ruining what could have been a career-best moto, clearly showing that Calgary is not always friendly to the Ontario rider. But his 4th overall in his 450 debut race shows that he's a serious threat, especially as the series heads into more favorable tracks. With a 10-4 performance, Evan Stice quietly made his own presence known north of the border. Riding with what looked like mailbox numbers taped to his Yamaha, the Idaho native wasn't expected to be near the front, but he proved he had the speed and the grit to compete with the best. Moto 2, he battled his way through the pack and had podium pace, ending the day in 5th. Let's get into WMX. After training in Oklahoma between university semesters, Kitty came into the season with momentum from a strong end to 2024. Round 1, she won both motos. Her Moto 1 celebration was so loud it sparked concerns the bike might not make it to Moto 2, a moment even mentioned on the Pulp MX show. She backed it up with another win in Moto 2 for a perfect weekend. A preseason favorite, Kaylee struggled with unexpected arm pump in Calgary. She was the only top rider to not train in warm weather, instead spending her winter working and riding snow bikes. Despite the setback, her speed and endurance remained strong heading into Cold Lake. With the short series, Kaylee has 3 motos left to gain some points and get herself into the championship. A 2-3 on the day for 3rd overall, tied for 2nd in the points. Racing at her home track, Destiny Slingerland had a breakout performance after training in Texas over the winter. She earned her first career podium and was in contention for a win. She's dedicating her season to her brother Jason and heads to Cold Lake as a serious threat. 3-2 on the day for a 2nd overall. Nova Scotia's Hannah Cole trained in Florida this offseason and showed strong pace in Calgary. Always in the mix, she was part of the tight 4-6 battle group. She's committed to racing the full East and West Series. A 4-4 for 4th overall for the day. Taya Ferguson, the youngest Ferguson sister, cracked the top 5 overall with consistent rides. Taya had smart line choices, especially on the insides. It helped her gain positions throughout both motos. She'll also be in for the full East Series, a 6-5 for 5th overall on the day.